In the stillness before dawn, when the world holds its breath, the true warrior begins his battle, not with sword or shield, but with the fire within. The ancients taught that discipline is the forge and struggle the flame. Together they temper the soul into something unbreakable. In this sacred process, hardship becomes not a curse, but a calling. What once felt unbearable transforms into a rhythm, an addiction, the hunger to overcome, again and again. This is the essence of Hagane Ishi, the will of steel, a spirit that grows sharper with every challenge faced. Remember, the mountain does not bow to the climber, it shapes him. Every setback, every failure, every moment of pain, they are the hammer and anvil of your becoming. To those walking this path with me, warriors of focus and fire, I thank you for standing in this circle of growth. Comment below to commit to your own path of mastery, and subscribe to this community of disciplined souls, forging themselves through the heat of effort. Adversity is the sacred forge where the spirit is tested, burned, and reborn. It is in the fire of struggle that we are stripped of illusions. Every weakness, every comfort, every false belief melts away. What remains is raw will, the essence of who we truly are. The ancient samurai understood this well. They did not fear hardship, they sought it. They believed that the blade only earns its edge through fire and relentless hammering. Likewise, the human soul sharpens through the trials it endures. Pain is not punishment, it is purification. It burns away the unnecessary and awakens something fierce within us, a silent strength that no comfort could ever summon. In the forge of adversity, we do not merely survive, we are remade. Each challenge refines us, each setback hardens our resolve, and each scar becomes a symbol of the warrior's journey toward mastery. When faced with difficulty, most flee, yet the warrior steps forward, for he knows that beyond the heat of the forge lies transformation. Adversity reveals what cannot be learned in peace. It demands focus when chaos reigns, patience when results are unseen, and courage when every instinct screams to retreat. This is where ordinary souls break, but disciplined ones ascend. The samurai trained their minds to remain calm amid storms, to move with grace when surrounded by pressure. Such calm is not natural, it is earned through endless confrontation with fear. To meet adversity is to walk willingly into discomfort, trusting that every strike of life's hammer is crafting something indestructible within. In the moments when exhaustion whispers surrender, remember, the fire does not destroy steel, it strengthens it. Over time, those who continue to embrace struggle begin to crave it, not for the pain itself, but for the growth it brings. Adversity becomes addictive because it is the only place where truth exists. Every obstacle faced becomes proof of our evolution. Each moment of doubt a chance to rise again. The warrior learns to find peace in pressure, purpose in hardship, and beauty in the grind. Like the swordsmith who endures the heat to bring forth perfection, the disciplined spirit embraces difficulty, knowing that comfort dulls the blade. The forge of adversity is endless, and that is its gift. For in this cycle of pressure and perseverance, the soul learns to shine with unyielding brilliance. Through struggle, we become not merely strong, we become worthy of the strength we possess. Discipline is the rhythm that guides the warrior's spirit, a steady drumbeat beneath the chaos of life. It is not born from passion or fleeting motivation, but from devotion, the kind that endures long after inspiration fades. The samurai rose each morning before the sun, not because they felt like it, but because their path demanded it. Discipline transforms time into a weapon. Every consistent act, no matter how small, strikes with the precision of a blade honed through repetition. When you move in rhythm with discipline, you no longer fight against effort. You flow with it. It becomes your heartbeat, the silent music that orders your world. Each repetition is a vow, each act of persistence a step toward mastery. True discipline is not restraint. It is freedom, the kind that only exists when chaos bows to consistency. To live in discipline is to live with awareness. Every choice, every moment becomes deliberate. The warrior's discipline does not depend on emotion, it depends on purpose. Whether the sky shines or storms, he trains, he studies, he moves forward. This unwavering rhythm creates balance, much like the steady beat of a taiko drum in the midst of battle. Discipline teaches that success is not a moment but a pattern of endurance, repetition, and clarity. It demands sacrifice, the comfort of idleness, the distraction of ease, the illusion of someday. Yet in that sacrifice lies strength. The body obeys the rhythm, the mind aligns with it, and the spirit learns to find peace in its steady cadence. This is the warrior's music, calm, relentless, eternal. Over time, the rhythm of discipline becomes addictive. What was once effort becomes instinct. What began as duty becomes devotion. The warrior no longer asks for motivation, he simply moves, guided by the pulse of his training. Like the endless tide shaping the shore, discipline shapes the soul through repetition and presence. Each morning practice, each deliberate breath, each act of control builds invisible momentum. A disciplined life may appear rigid to those who wander, but within that structure lies immense power. It is the rhythm that sustains the journey when the fire of excitement fades. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about returning again and again to the path no matter how far you've strayed. In this rhythm, the warrior discovers an eternal truth. Mastery is not achieved in bursts, but in beats. The quiet, consistent pulse of progress that never stops. There is a hunger that burns within every true warrior, a craving not for comfort but for challenge. It is the quiet voice that whispers, "Go further." This craving is not born from arrogance, but from the deep knowing that ease weakens the spirit. The samurai sought challenge as a means of sharpening both sword and soul, understanding that without resistance, even the finest steel grows dull. To crave challenge is to crave growth, to feel alive in the struggle, to stand before the unknown and say, "Let this test me." This desire transforms hardship into a kind of nourishment. The body tires, the mind resists, but the spirit hungers for more. It is through this hunger that the warrior evolves beyond comfort, discovering that life's most fulfilling victories are never handed. They are earned in the fires of difficulty. Challenge awakens the dormant power within. It demands courage where fear thrives and patience where chaos reigns. Every obstacle becomes a mirror, revealing who we are and who we can become. The samurai did not train for ease. They trained to face the storm with stillness, the impossible with grace. Challenge strips away pretense, exposing raw willpower and unshakable focus. When we lean into adversity, we invite the unknown to sculpt us, to carve new edges into our being. Each trial faced willingly becomes an act of rebellion against weakness. The craving for challenge is the refusal to stagnate. It is the spirit's declaration that comfort is death and struggle is life. Through challenge, the warrior reclaims dominion over himself and his destiny. Over time, this craving becomes an addiction, a sacred obsession with growth. The warrior begins to seek out that next mountain, not for glory, but for the sharpening of the soul. Difficulty becomes his companion, not his enemy. He learns to love the resistance, for it is the sign that he is alive, that his spirit still fights, still reaches, still dreams. In every failed attempt, there lies a lesson. In every victory, a new hunger to ascend again. The craving for challenge transforms fear into fuel. The unknown becomes an invitation rather than a threat. And so, the warrior walks ever forward, guided not by comfort, but by the eternal fire to improve, to refine, to transcend. For in challenge he finds not suffering, but purpose. The unending call to rise, stronger than before. Pain is the oldest teacher, the silent master of transformation. It speaks in a language deeper than words, one carved into the body, the heart and the spirit. To the warrior, pain is not an enemy to be feared, but a mentor to be respected. The samurai understood this truth, that only through enduring pain could one transcend it. Each cut, each failure, each disappointment is a form of fire, melting away weakness and illusion. Pain strips you bare until nothing false remains. It tests your patience, your faith, your identity, and in that crucible, something sacred occurs. The birth of a new self, stronger, clearer, more disciplined. Pain becomes the bridge between who you were and who you are destined to be. It refines the raw ore of the soul into steel. The transformation through pain is not immediate, but gradual, forged through countless silent battles within. When pain strikes, most retreat, but the warrior steps into it, breathing through the flames. He knows that beyond agony lies awakening. To embrace pain is to reclaim power. It is an act of defiance against despair. The samurai's path, Bushido, demanded this endurance. Not for glory, but for purity of spirit. Pain reveals what comfort hides. It shows the cracks in our armor, the limits of our patience, and the depth of our resolve. When you stop running from pain and face it with open eyes, it loses its ability to break you. Instead, it begins to shape you, forging resilience where there was fragility, discipline where there was doubt. Through suffering, the warrior learns stillness, learns humility, and learns that true strength does not roar. It endures in silence. Over time, pain ceases to be punishment. It becomes transformation itself. The warrior begins to see beauty in the burn, wisdom in the wounds. Every scar becomes a story of victory, not over others, but over weakness. Pain teaches balance, how to bend without breaking, how to persevere without losing heart. It molds the character in ways comfort never could. When you walk with pain as a companion, you no longer fear life's blows. You welcome them as reminders that you are alive, evolving, and unbreakable. The transformation through pain is the essence of becoming, not a curse, but a calling. For only through pain does the soul learn to shine, and only through the fire does steel remember its strength. Growth is not a moment. It is a flow, an endless current that carries the warrior forward. To live in the flow of relentless growth is to move with time, not against it. The samurai understood that mastery was not an achievement to reach, but a river to enter, one that never stops, shaping those who dare to remain within it. Every sunrise becomes a chance to refine the self, to learn, to adjust, to become slightly stronger than yesterday. Growth requires humility, for it demands that we admit how much more there is to learn. It requires courage, for it exposes the distance yet to travel. The flow of relentless growth is not driven by the desire to be perfect, but by the vow to never stop improving. Like bamboo bending with the wind, the warrior adapts, evolves, and remains unbroken. In this flow, effort becomes art. The disciplined spirit learns to move through progress and setback alike, understanding that both are teachers. The samurai's life was a dance between stillness and motion, reflection followed by action, failure followed by renewal. Growth flows through that same rhythm. It does not demand greatness today, only presence. The willingness to give your best in each moment. Those who chase growth without patience drown in frustration. Those who surrender to its current find power in persistence. The flow of relentless growth is not always visible. Sometimes it's the unseen battle within, the quiet decision to keep going when no one watches. Over time, those moments accumulate, carving a path of transformation through the landscape of your life. Eventually, the warrior becomes one with this flow, no longer chasing progress but embodying it. Growth becomes instinct, as natural as breath. The challenges that once felt heavy now feel necessary, like weights that strengthen the body and sharpen the mind. In this state, there is no finish line, only deeper refinement. The spirit begins to crave the process itself. The repetition, the discipline, the subtle victories that shape the unseen self. The flow of relentless growth turns struggle into serenity, effort into energy. To live within it is to understand that mastery is infinite, that the warrior's journey has no end, only evolution. Like the river that carves mountains over centuries, relentless growth is quiet, yet unstoppable. It is the eternal movement of becoming, the flow that defines the unbreakable spirit. In the end, the path of the warrior is not about victory or perfection. It is about becoming. Every trial faced, every habit forged, every failure endured is part of the sacred rhythm that transforms the ordinary into the exceptional. The forge of adversity hardens the will. The rhythm of discipline steadies the heart. The craving for challenge fuels the journey. Pain becomes the sculptor of strength, and the flow of relentless growth carries us ever forward. This is the way of Hagane Ishi, the will of steel. When life burns hot, remember, you are the metal being refined, not destroyed. Each strike is purpose, each flame is purification. Embrace the hardness, for it teaches you who you truly are. The hard things once feared become addictive. The taste of progress, the feeling of rising beyond yesterday's limits. This is the addiction of the awakened spirit, the hunger to evolve endlessly. So, rise again, warrior. Carry the fire, live with discipline, and walk this path of strength with honor. Comment to declare your commitment, and subscribe to this brotherhood of warriors who are forging themselves, one hard thing at a time.